Hi, Gary. Hi, Helen.
Hi Paul, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Fine and
Good.
dandy. Except I'm trying to share it on YouTube and I've just got a spinning. Oh, here we go. Share button at last. It's in Discord. One day, yeah. There we go. You're at an airport, Alistair.
Hi, Paul. I'm in that service station. I'm going to listen to this online
No,
drive.
no worries.
So,
Whereabouts are you?
M6 toll. So,
Uh,
all fun, dry
yeah.
weather.
Enjoy.
So, be very descriptive.
Right. Well, so we've got Benny. Hi, Benny. Hi, Tony, Gary, Helen, Charles,
Hi there.
and an iPhone Alistair. So I want to change things up a bit. Like I said, I'm kind of at the point now where with the Forex, I'm just doing the same thing again and again and again. And that doesn't mean that I won't not do like look at charts and stuff. So maybe we'll have a quick look at this morning to see if it was worth it. I didn't trade because it's the Monday afternoon farm and I've kind of learnt not to over time, just kind of learnt not to worry. So we might set it up, but one of the things that I might do is give you something or more valuable, right? Because when I ask people on these sessions, like, oh, so where do I put my stop loss? Often, if you go and play them all back, right, we often get a bit of silence, don't we? We often get a bit of, oh, I don't know, I put it there, I put it there. So I had a bunch of people pay me a fair whack of money to do some NLP with them. I'm going to do one of the exercises that I do with them. I want to do probably with you, so we could do that, or we could look at promoting HBA and trying to get a sale in HBA to get your costs covered, or I could just look at charts again. I'll go with group consensus. You might want to put it in chat because it doesn't like everybody can speak. Would you rather look at charts, do an NLP exercise to help you trade, or promote HBA? What would you rather? And I'll go with the consensus. I'll check the chat for all these messages coming in. And if you've got questions, right? If you've got questions about Forex or anything, like I've said before, the reason we do these sessions is because it allows us to manage our time. So if you've got questions, it's time to answer them. Right, let's have a look then. NLP, HBA next time. Yeah, and one for HBA. So yeah, okay then. So looks like NLP is the winner at the minute, unless anyone's fervently typing, but last time I checked, NLP is only 3 letters. It don't take long to write. So HBA is only 3 letters as well. That doesn't take long to write. So the rest of the people aren't bothering to answer. Okay, which is cool. So right, NLP though will help you with your trading like it helps me. So has anybody got a particular issue with their trading that mindset could help? No? Okay. So there's who can trade on demo but not live or funded? Who can do really well on demo but not funded? That's one way I could go, or I could do something else I've got in mind.
I
don't
can't
feel
trade
I'm
on
ready.
it.
Maybe I should be, but I don't feel I'm ready. I have just, I've lost a lot. And
So why did you lose, Malcolm?
because I got out too soon. I told you about this the other day.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're not letting them run.
not letting them run. No.
Right. Okay. Comment. And
I
what that
just
does
had,
is
Paul, I hadn't been able to trade in a month and a half. I can't get a platform, and it's I bought a funded account from the funded trader, and I
Yeah.
bought 3 from them. And they're migrating to DX trade, and they tried to move everybody over, and they breached all the contracts. So everybody in the company's kind of screaming at them, and we can't trade. And I can't get a demo in the U.S. So I'm kind of marking time here, waiting on them.
Tommy's messaged me a couple of times as well, and I go on. All I can do from the UK is like look online, and I search for like funded accounts that will allow US, and I find lists and I send them to Tommy, and he goes through them one by one, and it's like no, no, no. So, is there anybody here in the US who we got? There's only really Benny and Charles, isn't it? Is there anybody in the US that has got a funded account option?
I've actually had a couple that pulled out on me that I already was trying, and they said, "Oh, we're not doing business in the U.S. anymore. Sorry,
Right.
here's your money back."
Wow. Okay. So, what I'm going to do then, it might be a good time to sort of switch up the HBA. If you're in the UK, obviously, at the minute, we can still do funded, but let's be honest, if it's happening in the States, we tend to follow, don't we? So I'd imagine things might get a bit harsher. So we're back to where we used to be, like I had to do to start with, like trading with real money. So the trick is, though, to get real, to get in effect free money in. I was talking to somebody earlier. I was talking about rather than buy a house, I rented. So if I have 12 people in HBA, that covers the rent. It's like free money, isn't it? All I need to do is promote and get 12 people in HBA, and that's about my rent covered at the funnel builder and premium, right? The way to look at it with trading, if you're struggling in the States, and I see Tommy's come on, welcome Tommy. If you're struggling in the States to get a funded, it might not be as good as fast as having the funded. But if you had 10 people, say, in HBA paying you $100 a month each, that's $1,000, right? And say 11, because that pretty much covers your costs. If you had 11 people, you're basically making about $1,000. That's what you can trade with. And you just compound the account like we used to talk about compounding, right? So, Tommy, I don't suppose you found anybody else since we spoke last, and I sent a list, but it sounds like from what I'm hearing, as you work through the list, they close US access as quick as you can apply. Is that right?
You're on mute, Tommy.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking, but you're on mute. I thought it was looking to unmute.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I couldn't find the spot.
Yeah.
No, they've actually not reinstated us yet. There are 1 or 2, I think, Uwanda or whatever, a couple of US based ones that might do it, and I haven't figured it out yet. But I haven't been as bad a hurry after I read some of the stuff I read that they're figuring it out, and most people seem to believe that within a week or 2 they'll have it all back.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we'll hang fire for a little bit then. So
yeah,
we'll hang fire and we'll review it next week, I guess then, right? Which is it's a pain in the rear, pain in the ass. Do you know American say? Right. So let's do what's going to help them for people that can't trade at the minute. What's going to be the best thing I can do to help you? Well, it's still good actually. It's still good. Right. So, for example, Malcolm mentioned he gets out of trades too soon. Malcolm's behavior, right? Malcolm's a great guy. We're all great people, but our behaviors don't always match what we want, do they? We don't always behave in the way that we want.
No.
No.
Our subconscious drives the show, and they estimate that is at least kind of 90%. So 90% of what we do is driven by the subconscious. We're only aware of 5 to 10%, our conscious mind. So we're like, I can look at trading, for example, and all I need to do is follow the rules. Piece of cake. Anyone can do that. Any fool can do that. Then you come and try and follow the rules, and your subconscious stops you doing it. And then you start beating yourself up, and you start going, well, I must be stupid then, or Alterna scam me, or whatever, right? So, sorry, Malcolm.
That Paul, at all.
Oh, no, but it's what goes through
Yeah.
your mind, isn't it? This system can't work. This system doesn't work, right? But it does. It's that we don't follow it, right? All you need is the edge and the ability to follow it. So I always say, don't I? I can't teach you experience. That's what I always say. So the problem is, I don't like trading Monday mornings. So generally, when I trade, I'm trading Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I might trade Friday. If I'm only trading really between 7 and 9, I'm trading for kind of 6 hours a week.
Yeah.
How many hours does it take to become a master at something? Does anybody know? The general consensus is it takes how many thousand hours to become a master?
10,000
10,000
hours.
hours.
So if I'm going to become a master at trading and I'm only trading 6 hours a week,
And
and
take
it
you-
takes 10,000 hours
Yeah.
divided by 6, that's 1,666 weeks divided by 52. That's going to take me 32 years to become really good at trading.
Yeah.
Like a master at trading. How do you like those odds?
I still want
thank
to be
you
a
for the answer,
U95.
Give up now, I think.
Now, if only there was a solution. Who can remember one of their birthday parties they had as a kid?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Well, vaguely, but you can remember it.
Been a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
indeed.
yeah. I remember just getting off the Titanic. So you can remember that a million times, can't you?
Yeah.
So you can have the experience of that birthday party, or when you passed your driving test, or when you met your loved one, or whatever, right? But you can remember that, and you can remember it a million times. So you can repeat it a hell of a lot, can't you?
Yeah.
So if I can remember a good trade that I did and I followed the process, I can remember it a lot more than I can physically do it, because there's only one spell where it's between 7 and 9 a.m. in the morning every day. And I can't trade at weekends, and I don't like trading at Mondays. So, but in my head, I can do it again and again and again and again and again, can't I?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can experience it because I can still, when you think about a memory, you can kind of, remember the music that played. So you can remember the sounds, you can see things, right? And you can also often remember how it feels. Like remember riding a roller coaster, you still get that experience, don't you? You can still feel people say, oh, I feel giddy just thinking about it. Or, I feel hungry just thinking about that meal. Now that's memory. Now, likewise, though, when we think about things that are coming up, if you've got a job interview, you feel nervous thinking about the job interview, maybe, but you're not actually at the job interview, and yet you still feel nervous. I've helped a couple of people with like phobia of spiders. And what I do to them is I say to them, so when you think about a spider now, tell me what goes on. And they start, one girl I worked with, she started sweating. And I said, I've got really good news for you. You're not scared of spiders. She goes, no, I am. And I said, well, no, you're panicking now, aren't you? And she goes, yeah, because you told me to think about a spider. I said, yeah, but there's no spider here. So you're only scared of the thoughts that you're making about the spider, because there's no spider here. So what you think can have a real effect on you, can't it? And if you know you're going for a lovely meal out at your favorite restaurant, you can almost salivate thinking about this, whatever it is you're going to order, right?
Pavlov and his dogs.
Pavlov's on his dogs, right? Slightly different here, because that's a conditioned response, what we call an anchor, right? Slightly different, but you're on the right lines. Okay, so our brain, who's ever had a nightmare? And you woke up, heart pounding, your hands sweaty.
Yep.
I once dreamt I was eating a gigantic marshmallow, and when I woke up, I couldn't find my pillow. So brain can't tell the difference, right, between real and vividly imagined. Now then, think about an event in your life. Think about your birthday party. Think about a job interview. Think about learning to drive or something like that. See a little movie of it in your head. Now play it twice as fast. So it speeds up. You all do that?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something, but the brain can't tell the difference between real and imaginary, vividly imagined or vividly remembered.
Right.
Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
So if I can remember it as many times as I like, even if it's not between 6 and 9 in the morning,
Yeah.
and if I can speed it up as well, and I can make it go 10 times faster than it really is in real life, how quickly now can I do 10,000 hours?
Very quickly.
And the way that your brain learns, ladies and gentlemen, is by speed and repetition and or strong emotional impact. Now, the example I always give of that is like heroin addicts. Apparently, heroin is very Moorish, a bit like Pringles crisps, right? Once you have some, you always want a bit more, right? Strong emotional impact. Pain-wise, if you put your hand in a naked, turn the gas hob on and you put your hand over the flame, how long do you need to leave your hand there before you go, do you know what, I'm never doing that again? You only need one experience of that to not do it again.
True.
Right? Strong emotional impact. Now, when we're trying to master something, it's very hard for me to give you a strong emotional impact unless I'm with you and I can smack you around the head, right? Okay. Sometimes people with phobias, they'll have a strong emotional impact, like that girl with the spider, just thinking about it. But it's harder to do. But what we're going to do now, I'm going to encourage you to try and be as vivid as you can, because that will have an element, right? What we can control, speed and repetition, because we've already done that. We've remembered something, right? And we've sped it up. So we can remember something as many times as we want, and we can speed it up and we can play it fast. So if I was to draw a little matchstick man at the top of this book, and I did one every day, every sheet of me, and it made like a little animation. If I did that, you'd see him do a little dance, whatever I made him do, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because it's going fast. If I did this and I said, there's today's, come back tomorrow, and I'll show you the next one. And at the same time tomorrow, I showed you the next page. And the day after, I showed you the next page. You see the image, but would you see the pattern? Would you see the animation?
No.
So our brains need to see the pattern, right? And the way you do that is speed, and then to reinforce it, repetition. Are you all with me so far?
Yeah.
I'll make any questions, please shout up. So if I was to learn a strategy such as the amazing crossfire strategy, the steps are all written down for you. There is a certain order and a way to do things. And if you want to learn the 1 minute scalping, that's written down as well. There is an order and there's a setup, isn't there?
Yes.
And how much percentage do we go for? Percentage gain?
2%.
2%. Okay. So like Malcolm, for example, who spoke up. So I'm not picking on Malcolm, but he was brave enough to speak up. Malcolm, you know you should let them run, don't you?
Sorry?
You know you should let those trades run, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
But you don't.
Well, actually, funnily enough, I'm beginning to sort of the problem. The problem I'm having is I've been watching trades rather than putting stop losses and take profits in. If I put I've forgotten how to set it up to lose 1% or to risk 1% in order to make 2%, and I've forgotten how to put. So I unfortunately, Paul, as you know, and I'm not hogging the meeting, but I've been doing other things because of that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
Instead of doing
I can tell.
yeah, I'd love to just trade on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, maybe getting up that little bit earlier, and do that, because that would just add the thing on the cake. And I need to talk to you about HBA as well, but I'm not going to. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk more on HBA. HBA is a big part. Well, it is again and again and again. I got people in other businesses. They've got no support. They've got no help. HBA offers it all, but even then, people in HBA aren't using what's available.
Yeah.
And I don't watch far from anywhere near every session, right? But it's worth going and have a play. But in terms of if you want to make an income, what it offers, and if I were maybe to combine it with NLP and Forex and everything, I think we can have a killer package with HBA. And to be honest with you, I like money coming in whether I trade or not.
Sorry, say again.
I would walk over broken glass to have money coming in whether I trade or not.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
Monday morning after a non-farm payroll.
yeah.
I know from experience it is not
Not the time day to
not for
trade.
me to trade on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But HBA money's still coming.
Yeah.
So HBA very much part of what I want to do when I help people. But again, we're going to do some marketing. Might even do some on Wednesday. We'll see what the markets look like. Right. So unfortunately, I'm not really going to take time out to remind Malcolm where to set how to set.
Now I know what I need to do, Paul. I need to
Right.
set an anchor and say, set it up, put the stop loss in, put the take profit in, and walk away.
Right. So we can still do this exercise though, Malcolm, even if you don't know that. Does everybody else know how to set a trade with 1% risk, 2% take profit?
Yes.
Right. And if not, you can find out, can't you? Because it's all written down. And you can come on a session and you can ask. Okay. Now, I don't want to stop and do it now for anybody that isn't sure, right? But you can normally ask. I want to carry on through this exercise, right?
Yeah.
So trading should be fairly boring and fairly mechanical, shouldn't it?
Yes.
You know, with the two lines on Crossfire, you know, with the 1 minute scalp, you're waiting for the wave up or down with a fair value gap, and you're waiting for red, 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 blue, 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 right?
Yeah.
Gary's asking, how do you deal mentally with a larger account, the larger number account? Gary, you're looking at the pounds rather than the percentage, which is why we always talk percentage as we can talk more about that, but just for now, there's a massive hint there. If you trade 1%, 2%, 3%, you're dealing with percent all the way through. The numbers don't matter. Forget looking at pounds and dollars and think points and just work in percentage. But we'll do that in a bit more. Right. So what I need you to do now is take 30 seconds to a minute. And I want you to mentally go through the steps that you know you should take to do your chosen strategy. Just 30 seconds to a minute. Just sort of know what you should do from walking to your computer and starting to trade, how you should do it. Okay, a few more seconds. Okay, so now I want you to imagine that the best trader in the world at trading your strategy, the best trader in the world, could be completely imaginary, could be you doing it right, okay, could be you doing it absolutely the best way it should be, right? And I want you to imagine that you are sat in like a director's chair, like it's a movie being directed. And you're sat and you can feel the canvas on your backside and you can feel the wooden arms on the chair, and you're watching the best example of somebody trading this strategy, doing everything right. I want you to sit and watch them go through the steps that they do to be the best at this sort of strategy. And I want you to get them to the point where they see a good setup. Are they getting in early, guys?
No, they're just following the rules.
So they're not getting in early. And what about Malcolm then? Once they enter a trade, what are they doing then, Malcolm? The best trader in the world at this strategy.
Well, they're following their strategy, the rules that they make. In other words, if it goes below, if you're using Crossfire, if it goes below the red, and then you look at the Wadarata at the bottom,
Yeah.
is the explosion line, above the dead zone line, and have a quick look back as to see where it was, put the whole suite on, see what that's doing.
Yeah. So they get in, Malcolm, but once they're in, what are they doing? Are they getting out early like you do, or are they letting it
No,
run?
they're sitting and they're obviously up. It depends whether they're watching the trade or whether they put the stop loss in the trade, the take profit, and then walk away.
So the best trader in the world then, do they set a take profit and a stop loss, Malcolm, or are they winging it?
No, I think they set a stop. I think
Right.
they do stop
So that's
loss.
the point. That's the point. You guys are watching the best example of somebody trading that strategy, and you're watching. So Malcolm said, well, it depends if they're watching it or not. No. What does the best trader at this strategy, right? How do they do it? Now, they should be following the rules. So I would put, if I was just one-to-one with Malcolm now and we were doing this, right? I would be saying to Malcolm, so the best trader in the world sometimes wings it, sometimes doesn't set a stop loss to take profit. And he'd be going, no, he does because he follows the rules. So that's why you watch, right? Yeah. So you watch and you see what they do. But here's the thing. You remember I said you're in a director's chair?
Yeah.
Our brains, right, are following this through, and you probably start thinking what you would do, which is why Malcolm said, well, it depends if he's watching it or not. But I would imagine the best trader in the world is pretty consistent, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm probably watching it.
Yeah. So because you're the director, you can direct him, and you can say, no, you always set a stop loss and a take profit. So then you play it again, right? Until he's doing it right. So I want you to start to finish, and this is what I say to people: watch him him or her walk in the room, sit down at the computer or laptop. Hint: if it's like a movie, the movie set might look exactly like where you trade usually.
Yeah.
It could be you, the best version of you trading it properly. It could be an actor, could be just who you think the best trader is. It doesn't matter. We're saying to our brain, this is the best trader in the world at this strategy, right? And I'm watching what they do. And it's kind of 3 rounds to this, right? So I'm going to give you all 30 seconds to a minute again. And I just want you to see them walk in, look for the setup, notice what they're doing. Are they journaling? Are they taking a minute to kind of back test a little bit before they start and just look back? Are they reviewing the notes, or are they just getting straight on because they know it so well? Doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. Some people like to look at the notes every time. I used to have them up on the wall all the time, right? I used to do it. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever works for you. What do they do, right? What do you think the best person does? Then what I want you to do is I want you to see them take a trade that loses. And I want you to notice how the best trader in the world reacts. Do they get all
Probably say, I've lost one, move on.
So they're quite nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
Because they understand that you don't win every trade,
no.
But as long as your strategy has an edge. So should they be really frustrated and, like me in the past, nearly throw a laptop out the window? Or do they just go, okay, well, it's a series of wins and losses. It's not a series of win-win-wins. It's a series of wins and losses. That was a loss. Great, I'm closer to a win.
Yeah.
Do they revenge trade? Do they increase their lot size on this one, the next trade? Because you can't lose 2 in a row, surely not. What do they do? I bet they don't do that, do they?
No,
Are they calm? Are they measured? And then what I want you to do is I want you to wait to see them at another setup. And this time I want them to win. And I want you to see how they react when they win. Now, usually when I do this, I normally do this one-on-one with people, and they usually go, well, they're just matter of fact about that as well. Because they know they could lose the next one, but they're pleased because obviously they've got their 2%. And if you trade Crossfire and you trade what I do, now I always say, look, there's no point staying in a trade if you can see that it's turning around, or you might just want to grab a bit. But in reality, we shouldn't really do that, should we? There should only really be two outcomes of our trades, win or lose.
Yeah.
Because we know the strategy has the edge. And when you close early, you might close one out at 1% that would have gone to 2%. And then when you trade the next one and it loses, you're at break even. If you let them run and the strategy works, you could have been 1% up there.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, the strategies work. So again, I'm going to shut up for 30 seconds a minute or something like that. And I want you to do that. It's the best trader in the world for you. What do? Do they journal? Do they back test? Do they look at the list? They look for the setup. They take it. They lose one. They look for another setup. They take it. They win one. Go ahead. Okay, you all got there? Need a few more seconds.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with this, Paul.
It gets more fun in a minute. I can see people still sort of concentrating, but how are we doing? Is everybody ready?
Yep.
So how did they react when they lost, guys? Who wants to give me some feedback?
Put it back down to experience and move on.
Okay. And are they journaling it?
Are they what?
Journaling. Are they keeping a little journal of?
Oh, journaling.
And if not, should they be?
I haven't been, but I should be. Yeah.
So
Yes.
your best trader in the world, Tommy, probably is journaling, and you want to see that because that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any feedback on when they lost?
And even think about it, just move on to whatever comes next in your life.
So what about when they win?
Likewise, I would think that's
Yeah,
consistent.
likewise.
My
Okay.
guy jumped up buck naked and ran around the room. He was pretty excited.
Yeah, we've all seen the videos you put out, Charles.
Image out, image out.
I was once speaking to a guy on Zoom, and he lived on a boat, this guy, and he lived in Portugal on a boat, so it was often hot, and he didn't have a top on, and I'm chatting to him, and I just kept looking. Laurie, he goes, yeah. I said, have you got any clothes on? He goes, no. No. I said, well, you might want to move that mirror in future because I've got a great view of your arse crack. Put me off it was. So when your trader lost a trade and then won a trade, what did they do then? Did they carry on trading? They stopped for the day? Turn the computer off? What do they do? Did anybody see what they did, or do we need to do the exercise again? You might need to do the exercise again. That's what normally happens. So what happens when the best trader in the world at this strategy that you're trading, what do they do when they've hit do they have a daily target? What do they do when they hit it?
If they hit their target, the idea is to stop, isn't it?
Well, is it? It's the best trader in the world, Malcolm. What does your guy do?
Yeah, if he makes excuse me, if he makes his target, he stops.
What's his target?
1%, well, 2%, risk 1%, could gain 2%. And if he
So-
gets 2% on one trade, that's him done for the day.
Fantastic. So when we do the next round, you, Malcolm, I want him to win the first trade,
Right.
and I want to see what he does. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I always like to get the trader to lose a trade in the scenario because we all know we're going to lose trades, aren't we? Right? So I like to build that in, but just as important, because I sometimes get people say to me, well, if it's so good, why don't you just sit there all day and trade?
Because you will lose, because you can't win every time.
We've learned that, haven't we?
Yeah.
So all new traders go through that, I think. Right, so we're going to rewind the movie and you're going to go back to the beginning. You're going to watch him or her again. But if there was anything from the last time, like the journaling, Tommy, like the fact he stops and walks away, Malcolm, when he's made his target, make sure you see that this time. Make sure you include that in. And if there's anything else comes up, you're the director. You direct him or her. So away you go. They walk in the room, go into the laptop, looking for the setup. Away you go. See it happen.
Right.
And you're still watching, so you're in your director's chair, remember. I'll give you a minute or so. Okay, coming to the end. You all there?
Yep.
So your perfect trader, did they do everything right this time?
Maybe not everything.
Okay.
Maybe.
So what didn't they do right for you then, Malcolm?
No, I thought you were. I mean, nobody does everything right first time, second time, or third time.
Well, this is the best trader in the world who's got lots of experience.
Yeah.
So with trading, what's important? Following the process, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you don't always win trades, but you can follow the process perfectly every time, can't you?
You can, yeah.
There's a lot of patience required with Forex. So when you said he wasn't doing everything right, Malcolm, I know, being highly qualified in NLP, that you need to, well, we're all going to do it anyway, speed, repetition. So we're all going to run through again. But if there's has anybody else got anything that needs changing from last time? Bearing in mind, they're the best trader in the world. They ought to be following the process properly. So like when Malcolm said, well, nobody does everything right, do they? Yes, these do, because these are the best trader in the world. And where we're going with this is we're programming this into your brains. So we don't want to be programming in, oh, he doesn't do everything right, or she doesn't do everything right, do we?
No.
And because we're imagining this, we know the rules. You might want to do this exercise again after this call, where you've got the checklist in front of you, and you might want to read through it before you start. But say it or don't, I'm not worried, but has anybody got anything else they want to encourage and tell the best trader in the world, their perfect trader, anything they need to change when they do it this next time?
The bit I can't decide on, Paul, is if my best trader in the world loses a trade, okay, fine, you forget that one and move on with your day. But is that about going and doing another trade, or is it forgetting life in general? Forgetting trading in general for the day.
Okay, so if you just close your eyes for me, Helen, be easier to do, and you look at your perfect trader. And you're just going to go with the first impression. If you ask them, what do they do if they lose the first trade? What do they say?
They walk away.
So they only do one trade a day.
No, if they've met their target, they would walk away.
But what happens if
No,
you
they've
target-
lost Malcolm.
Oh, sorry.
So what happens if your target is 2%, but you lose 5 trades to try and make you 2%? You must have a cut-off, right?
Yeah. Or do you say to yourself, if I lose 4 in a row,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop because
You'd be 4% down.
yeah,
Is that right to lose 4% in one day potentially?
maybe
Because
not.
sometimes the markets are just funny, aren't they? It's not.
Yeah.
There has to be a cut-off. It's like last week I went to go and get circumcised, but I'm too old. I didn't know there was a cut-off date.
Yes, I saw that on Star Trek this morning.
Oh gosh.
So these are the sort of things. So Helen, what does your perfect trader do then if he loses the first, or he or she, sorry, loses the first trade? They just stop, do they?
Well, certainly that's what it felt like in the minute when I was thinking about it then.
So is that what you'd like to do then, or would you like to do 2 or 3 trades? This is where we're working out the process, right? This is where we're working it out. And these things are great because this is coming up now. And you will get the chance to program in how you would like to behave, what you want. So going through the scenario, this first time is where we go through it often, quite a few times, and things like this come up. Well, he followed procedure, but he lost. And then she lost again. And I don't know whether to, well, you decide how much are you comfortable losing in a day?
Yeah.
So what's your answer?
Probably not more than twice.
So
Well, not twice in a row. If it was 2 losses without any wins in between.
okay, so 2% down, you'd stop. That's 2 in a row that you lose. That would be 2% down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you lose 1 and then you win 1, what do you do then? And if you're not sure, ask your perfect trader. First impression answer.
Currently, I would do another one.
So you do, and then you keep going, would you?
No.
No more than 3
See the
trades in a
result
day.
of the next one. And if it's a loss, then definitely pack it in for the day.
Right.
So you go into this syndrome of particularly when you're on a winning streak, for example. I've cracked it. I'm on a winning streak. So you keep going. It's a bit like, as you referred to almost 2 years ago, the basic course you did, which is it's using predictability rather than gambling.
Yes. It's all probability, but you can, as long as your system has an edge and you're the casino owner, you think like the casino owner. That's why casinos win and gamblers don't. So, Helen, have you worked out then what your perfect trader does? What sort of the rules are? What about if they win the first trade?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't worked it all out then, have I? Do one more.
This is where I know. This is where I make my money. So they win the first one. Then what?
Well, if they make that, then they stop.
Hang on, Malcolm. Hang on, Malcolm.
All right.
It's Helen's perfect trader.
All right.
Yours might be different. Some people will do.
My perfect trader walks away from the live account and demos
because they're 2% up. Now, some people, like, I don't know whether this is where Malcolm is going, but some people might say, well, they take another one because the worst that can happen is they lose 1% on the second trade, so they're still 1% up. The point is, guys, it doesn't matter. You're still up, you've got an edge. And that's what we're trying to program in here. We're trying to program following these rules. So have you all got an idea now of what your daily target is then and when you would stop?
Yes.
So in this round, your perfect trader walks in the room, they go to the computer. And what I'd like to see you do is play out those scenarios then where you lose the first 2, where you win the first one, and whatever your own decision is, what your perfect trader does. right? That's what you play out this time. You play both scenarios, yeah? That makes sense?
Yeah.
Make sure it's a nice big picture. Make sure you can see all the steps clearly. You need at least a little acknowledgement of that is a perfect setup because I've got red, 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 or blue, 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 or it's closed above or below the line. Yeah. Whatever strategy you're focusing on for this, you can do the other strategy later. You'll know how to do this exercise, trust me. Right. So but now you need to see the perfect trader following the rules that you would like to do. Like for Malcolm again, right? Okay, Gary, I don't know why. Yeah, we can't hear you. But so I'd like you to play out that scenario, right? Remembering you're watching them and you still do have chance to direct them, right? So away you go, let it play out. I'll give you another minute to let that happen. Okay. We're finishing.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
One thing about I'm just clicked off. One thing about the casino.
Yeah.
Well, this is relevant to your discussion. One thing about the casino, they don't influence the players. They don't tell the winning. They don't tell the losing player to stop.
Yeah.
And they don't tell the winning player to carry on.
Absolutely. Because they want you to
let
keep
them
going.
play. They want you to. No, they just let their process is the process, and
Yes.
they'll view as they'll win on the turn in the long run. In the
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, they know their system has an edge. If you play enough games, they'll come out on top.
And that's really the bottom line is you do, and you go, and you stop, you know, in your own rules.
Yeah, and everyone's rules might, if you get 100 people, 100 traders, their rules might be different.
Yeah.
Same strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the same
And then
strategy.
and everything else is between your ears.
Totally. Because I always say, like, when you went to school or college, whatever, you had the same teacher, you had the same lessons, the same textbooks, the same homework. When it comes to exam time, everybody gets different results.
Yeah.
So why? Well, how? Right? Because we're all variables, right? So the game is the game up here, not actually recycling the information. So has everybody gone through that? And have you all got a perfect run through yet, or do you still need to direct?
No, I know exactly what I've got to do.
Okay. But you need to be able to see your perfect trader do it, Malcolm, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, knowing what you've got to do is, because that hasn't worked for most of us, has it? Let's be honest. At least in the past, right? Knowing what to do doesn't work. Doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And it's like if you ask a teenager to hoover your carpet, they'll put the hoover around, and when you come and look, there's often still bits of dirt. But you haven't picked that up, and you haven't picked that up. I hoovered.
Yeah.
I did the what, right? But it's how you do it. You might need to go over a bit a few times to get all the dirt up, right? So there's the why, the what, and the how. Why are you trading? You need a why. You need a why that makes you do it. It needs to be consistent with your values and stuff like that. I'm re-recording my NLP course at the minute, so I'm shit hot on all this stuff, right? But so you need to know your why, right? You need a why that makes you cry and like, some of that's BS, but you need a why that makes you cry. So there's a why you're doing it, and then there's a what are you doing and how are you doing it, right? So we're dealing with the what and the how. Your why is up to you. You've got reasons why you want to trade and make money trading and stuff. The what and the how, though, this is my realm. So have you all got a good, are you all able to watch your perfect trader go,
Yeah.
see the setup, take the setup, win some, lose some, and then follow the rules both ways? Whether they unfortunately hit the loss target for the day, and if they win, if they get their target for the day, what do they do then? Are you all up to that point yet? If not, we can do it one more time.
Stop.
No, there.
You're all right, right. So now what we're going to do, how does the brain learn? So what we're going to do now then, we're going to go to the start of the scene. You're going to watch your perfect trader go through the process, and you're going to make sure you've got at least an acknowledgement, a nod to the fact that they closed above or below the line, and they're just waiting for the PSAR, or they're waiting, whatever it is, right? You just need, yeah, perfect setup. Yeah, risking 1%. Yes, looking for 2% gain. Ignoring the trade, letting it run, because that's your edge. I don't set my break even at 1% anymore, because the amount of times it's kind of gone to 1%, come back, took me out, so I end up at break even, but it would have gone to 2. I just let them run, right? That's from experience. So I know that's what I want to do. So when I do this exercise on things for myself, that's what I do. I just let them run, right? So maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to sit and watch them and manage the trade. That's all fine. And I trade differently a bit still when I'm on with you guys, because I'm like trying to grow accounts and things, aren't I? So we're going to go through the whole process one more time, right? But I want you to just do a practice one, and I want you to do the process now, like literally like this. Bzzz. He's in, or she's in. She's perfect setup. Set the risk. Watch the trade. Loss, not a problem. Win. Bzzz, 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 like that. Pretty fast. You're clear?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So we've just done, I think that's the 4th time. So we've just done the equivalent of 4 days worth of me trading. And it took me time to explain it again. So probably in about 35 minutes, we've done 4 days worth of trading.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets really fun now. That's not fast enough really for our brains to really understand it. So I'm going to give you about a minute, right? And what I'd like you to do is go through that process then where you're seeing it go zip, roughly 10 times. The actual number of times isn't as important as we're seeing it go fast. Yeah? Zip, zip, zip. But again, you need to have that. Yes, it is a perfect setup. They're risking 1% to make 2%. They lose, no problem. They win, no problem. Yeah, as long as you get a sense of the steps at least. Does that all make sense? So
Yeah.
whether you do 8 or 12 or 15, but I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you go now. Zip, 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 away you go. Anybody still going?
Finished.
Okay. So we've dealt with some speed and we've dealt with some repetition now, because that in that minute or so was 10 days worth of trading. Seeing it done perfectly, following the process.
Yeah,
But
check it. Yeah.
But that's you seeing it. That's kind of saying to the brain, this is what somebody else does. Now what we want to do is let your brain experience it, so it knows what to see, what to hear, what to feel. So remember earlier when I said about the nightmare, brain can't tell the difference between real and vividly imagined. So this is what happens now. The scene gets set up, ready for action. But when you look from your director's chair, you notice that the perfect trader in the world is gone, and there's this like white cutout. And you're going to close your eyes for me in a second, not now, but in a second, and you're going to float from your director's chair into that white cutout and take out that space. So you're going to become that perfect trader that's got the system set out perfectly now, and you're going to see through their eyes. You're going to hear through their ears, and more importantly, you're going to feel what they feel and think what they think. So it's like you're sharing their thoughts. Does that make sense? So when they take a loss, you're seeing the loss, but you're feeling the way they feel. When they get a win, you're feeling what they feel. Because you are them. You are the perfect trader. You're taking their role in the movie. So I want you to go through that just once. Away you go, and I'll be quiet while it happens. Normal sort of speed. A few more seconds. If you're not finished yet, for the other people that maybe have, make sure you see them hit the target for the day. You might want to dive back in and just notice what happens as you live it, seeing what they see, hearing what they hear, feeling what they feel. What happens when they hit their target? What do they do? How do they feel about it? Knowing that tomorrow could be a losing day. Knowing that tomorrow could be another winning day. What happens if they lose the first 2 trades in a row? What do they do? How do they feel? That's what's important. How do they feel? Where do they feel it in their body? Because you're feeling it, because you've become them. And any other scenario that you think you'd like to play out. How does the best trader in the world deal with that? Okay.
Cool.
Everybody ready? Okay, so now I want you to rewind to the start again. I want you to do it again, but I want you to breathe like they do this time, and I want you to sit or stand like they do this time. Take on like how their physiology, and just go through and play it again. In any scenario you want to play out and any corrections you want to make, go for it. But again, seeing through their eyes, hearing through their ears, feeling what they feel in their body and where they feel it in their body. I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, gonna wind up in a second. Are you all ready? Right, okay. So we've done, by my reckoning now, I think we've done 16 days worth of trading. Right? But only 2 of them like really experiencing it, but still it all counts. So what we want to do now, like you just done, you should have a perfect, you should be the perfect trader now following those rules, agreed? Following the system. All you can do is follow the system. We can't control wins or losses, but we can follow the system, can't we? And if we're following the system, we've got an edge. So now guess what we need to do?
Follow the system.
Well, yeah, but go to the start. We want to reinforce this now. 10,000 hours, remember? We're going to do it a lot faster. So I want you to go back to the start of the scene and we're going to do what we did before. Roughly 10 times, but fast. So the brain learns with speed and repetition. So bzzzt, 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 as long as you have a sense, perfect set, 1%, 2%, could be quite fast. I just need you to have that little acknowledgement. Oh, I've hit 2%, I stopped for the day, I'm on track. Oh, I've made 2% for the day, I'm on track. I've made a walk away, whatever. I've entered the trade, I'm sat here, but I'm not watching it. I'm just going to let it play out. Whatever you want to do is fine. I would suggest that is it, but it's up to you. And we do that roughly 10 times. As fast as you can while keeping all the little steps, yeah? Away you go. Just while you do the last few, remember you're thinking their thoughts as well. Just for the last few. Faster if you can. Speed, repetition, faster, faster, faster. And you should be coming to a close soon. Okay, I'm going to give you a few more seconds. Remember, you can always do this after as well. We're going to kind of keep everybody in the same place. So, how are we all doing? How was that?
Oh,
Okay, so, okay, so by my reckoning now, that's about 26 days worth of perfect trading. And about half of that has been experiencing it. So at this point, a little trick I picked up from one of my mentors. It seems to go down really well, work really well. I want you to ask the perfect trader while you're in their body. I want you to ask them if there was a color that represented all of their experience and knowledge, so they do it right. First impression, what color would it be? And you all got your own come to mind. Who wants to give me a color?
purple.
Green.
Green. What did you say, Malcolm? Sorry.
Purple.
Purple. Green. So you all got a color, yeah? First impression.
Red.
Red. Awesome.
Blue.
Blue. Okay. So what I want you to do now in your head, ask the perfect trader, would it be okay? Because it's like copy and paste. It doesn't hurt them. Would it be all right if you copied that color and you could take it back with you, so you've always got that to help you in your trading in the future? And ask them if it's okay to do that. Did everybody's perfect trader say yes?
Yes.
Good, because if not, you've got real issues.
Mine said yes.
So I want you to imagine that color, whatever color that was for you, and I want you to imagine that you take that color and you put it in your chest here. And I want you to see that color start to radiate out, go all through your body, every nerve, every fiber. You've got that color in your whole body. And then in your own time, when you're ready, you're going to float out of your perfect trader, taking that color with you, thanking them for letting you take all their experience and their wisdom and their discipline at following the strategy. And you're going to float back to your director's chair, taking that color, feeling it through your whole body as you leave and you go back to your chair. And when you're all back in your chair, come into your chair now if you're not already in. You notice that the scene's at the start again, and now there's not the perfect trader, but there's you. Because you've become the perfect trader, haven't you? Because you were just in them. You were just there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Now,
in my mind.
So we've seen either the perfect version of you doing it or the perfect trader in the world, whatever that was at the start. Then you floated in and you've experienced it now, and you've taken back all that wisdom, experience, knowledge, and discipline with you. And you've got that. And now you're seeing you as the perfect trader. The reason why this is important is, can you all remember what you had for lunch or for breakfast or for supper last night? Can you all remember when the last day at school? Can you all remember anything in your life, right? The brain can't always tell the difference between real and imaginary, real or a memory. So you've just lived like the perfect trader. And our brain could be going, well, is that a memory or is it something we want to start doing as of now, this minute, right now? No. So all we need to do now is do the last round where we see you doing everything perfectly now, to say to our brain, in effect, no, this is what we want to be doing as of now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to see them play through once. Away you go. The whole scene. Win, lose, finish for the day when you hit your target or when you hit your maximum loss. Just once. Won't take long. Away you go. While you're watching it, you might just want to feel that colour glowing inside of you. Some of you might want to smile because this is you doing it right.
Mm.
And that sends a signal to the brain as well, by the way. So as you come to the end of that scene, where they've done everything right, but it's you. Now what we need to do is do it about 10 to 15 times as fast as you can, while still getting a sense of the steps. And I'm just going to shut up for about 2 minutes and let you do it. Away you go. Feel that colour, that wisdom, experience, and knowledge. Okay, so we should be coming up to the end. If you haven't, just go as fast as you can. Fast, 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 fast. Speed repetition. Remember to feel that colour glowing through your body as you're watching. You do it perfectly. By my reckoning now, we've done it about 40 days worth of trading. And probably around about an hour doing it right.
Yeah.
Okay, so come to the end and finish. You can let your director's chair go and everything. And just
Yep.
look around the room. It's a break state. So when you think about trading tomorrow, who can tell me what's different when they think about trading tomorrow or later today for some of you?
I can visualize the trade better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody else? What's different when you think about it to normal?
Feels safer, I think.
Feel safer. That's good. If you can visualize it better, if you can feel safe doing it, you tend to take different actions. So what I'd like you to do then is try and get something that was the color of your perfect trader. I got red, Gary's red, I've got blue, another red, green, purple. If you haven't got anything like that, just go, go to Canva or something and make a purple box and print that out and just get a little piece of that color on your desk. So like Malcolm was saying, Pavlov's dogs, when you come to trade next, oh, there's that color that's the perfect trader. And that's how you do 40 hours, 40 days worth with various scenarios very fast. So if you said 2 hours a day and you've just done 40 days worth, that's about 80 hours worth.
That's good, Paul.
Top
Thank
athletes know that secret. Top athletes use this exercise. It's called New Behavior Generator. And when if you watch an athlete going through a sporting thing like high jump or something in their head, you'll see their muscles twitch. Brain, the body link, the mind body link. It actually, if it's playing it out, it actually makes those neurons go in your brain. It can even make muscles move. There was a fantastic, I'm trying to find the original scientific paper for it, but there was they wanted to measure the strength in somebody's fingers, right? And they had this machine. It's just like a ring on a wire with some weights. And when you do that with your finger with the rings, it pulls the wire, and the machine could test your strength, how much weight you could pull, right? How far you move the string based on the weight and stuff. So it could work out, oh, your fingers are this strong. And what they got them to do was go to a room with a piano and go ding, 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 ding for about 15 minutes a day for 30 days. Ding, 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 ding. Guess what happened at the end of 30 days? Do you think all their fingers got stronger?
Yes.
Because they're exercising. Test them again. What I haven't told you, though, is there was actually 2 sets of people in the experiment. One that was doing the ding, 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 dings, and one that was just watching.
One is real and the other is imagined.
The ones that were watching, they got stronger fingers as well. Not to the same degree, but about half, just by watching. So there is an argument to be made that if your gym has a cafe, like the leisure centre at Grantham used to have a cafe, and you could watch people in the swimming pool and in the gym, and you could actually order a beef burger from the cafe. So there is an argument to say that you could do quite well just eating a greasy burger and fries, watching people in the gym.
Yes.
As long as you really watch.
You get stronger if you're a beef burger watching people in the gym. Yeah,
Yeah, you still benefit.
I like that.
Right, so how was that, guys?
Good. Thank you, Paul. Thank you ever so
That was
much.
good. Thank you.
I think that is better than just going over the charts again and again and again. So I'm not, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, guys, I'll see you Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
pal.
right. Thanks, Paul.
Bye.
I'm working
Notice the
for
changes.
Wednesday.
When you trade, notice the changes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Catch you later.
Thank you, Paul.